Hello, welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. This is going to be a hard subject that but we do need to talk about. This is horrific. It's more than just about exploiting children. This sorry piece of crap actually did this to animals as well. Oh man, this is very a sick case. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. So let's go ahead because it looks like partly read. I didn't get to finish reading all of the second article, and I want to thank you so much, Chris, for bringing awareness to that website too. So Matthew 18 verse 6, but whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. In Matthew 18 verse 10, take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones. For I say unto you, that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father which is in heaven. Fathers, do not embitter your children, or they will become discouraged. And then in Isaiah 117, learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. A lot of people say it's not my problem, but yes, it is too. Trigger warning, for sure. If you're easily tempered, you do not want to watch Smarty Pants. Who's Smarty Pants, Chris? You silly boy. Well, that's good to learn new things. So Christopher records Tamaqua Police Department in Pennsylvania. Without further ado, let's share the screen. We got trigger warning up there. He learned to copy and paste and it worked, so we're celebrating learning something new. That's why we're laughing. Former Tamaqua police officer indicted on charges of attempted coercion and enticement of a minor to engage in illegal sexual activity, attempted receipt and possession of child pornography, and animal crushings. We're going to go over these little tidbits and go further into communication about this. So in Scranton, the United States Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Pennsylvania announced that Christopher J. Cortez, age 29, of Nazareth, Pennsylvania, was indicted by a federal grand jury for coercion and enticement of a minor to engage in illicit sexual activity, attempted receipt of and possession of child pornography, and animal crushing. Remember, this is a police officer. Don't forget that. Remember that part. According to the United States Attorney General Gerard M. Karam, the indictment alleges that while employed as a Tamaqua police officer for the Tamaqua Police Department, Cortez communicated with at least one minor victim on a social media platform who he attempted to solicit for child pornography. That's what I said. Parents, watch your kids. Additionally, Cordes is alleged to have used at least one social media platform to attempt to receive child pornography. Cordes is also alleged to have created and then sent images to at least one minor victim and others depicting himself engaged in sexual activity with animals. You hear that? The sorry piece of crap had sex with animals and sent it to children on top of it being sick enough of him messing with kids, messing with animals, and then he shares that with a child. When Cordes was arrested, he was in possession of child pornography. The case was investigated by the Department of Homeland Security and the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office. Assistant U.S. Attorney Luisa Anera Bertie is prosecuting the case. Y'all better not give him bail. Y'all better not give him bond. You have a lot of angry people. This case was brought as part of the Project Safe Childhood, a nationwide initiative launched in May 2006 by the Department of Justice to combat the growing epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse. Led by the United States Attorney's Offices and the Criminal Division's Child Exploitation and Obscenity Section, Project Safe Childhood marshals federal, state, and local resources to locate, apprehend, and prosecute individuals who sexually exploit children and to identify and rescue victims. For more information about Project Safe Childhood, please visit usdoj.gov backslash, got a link right there. The maximum penalty under federal law for these offenses is life imprisonment. Okay, there's so many people that's been having this possibility of life imprisonment. Why are they getting bond? Just tell me that. Just tell me. I want to know. A term of supervised release following imprisonment and a fine. A sentence following a finding of guilt is imposed by the judge after consideration of the applicable federal sentencing statutes and the federal sentencing guidelines. Indictments and criminal information are only alleged. All persons charged are presumed to be innocent unless until found guilty in court. Well, excuse me, if you see a duck, it looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? If they actually got where the officer had child pornography on his phone, excuse me, it's a duck. I will say he's guilty. I will call it for what it is. Year in review. Former officer charged with sex offenses. Here is his picture right there. That's it. The photos from December the 30th, 2024. A Tamaqua police officer was hit with charges having sex with a child. So he actually, see, he had sex with a child. See, possession of child pornography and sex with an animal in May by the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office. Christopher J. Cordes, 29, of Nazareth, was immediately suspended by the Tamaqua Police Department and fired soon after. In October, Cordes was indicted on federal charges of attempted coercion and enticement of a minor to engage in illegal sexual activity, attempted receipt and possession of child pornography, and animal crushing. With the charges filed by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District, the state charges against Cordes will not be pursued. The most recent charges allege that while employed as a Tamaqua police officer, Cordes communicated with at least one minor victim on a social media platform, whom he attempted to solicit for child pornography. Additionally, Cordes is alleged to have used at least one social media platform to attempt to receive child pornography. Cordes is also alleged to have created and then sent images to at least one minor victim and others depicting himself engaged in sexual activity with animals. The maximum penalty under federal law for the federal offenses is life imprisonment, a term of supervised release following imprisonment and a fine. The state charges included 21 criminal counts of child sexual abuse, manufacturing child pornography, sexual intercourse with a dog, and other offenses. Well, you need to really charge them for you, that kid ain't never going to be able to unsee what she's seen, right? See if anybody said anything. It cannot be a cop anywhere anymore. Let's hope not, right? Well, that state trooper in Alabama, the one I said that did the child pornography of me, and they found him with child pornography. Did you know that they would allow him to be an Athens City police officer, even though, he was let go from the state trooper? Did y'all know that? Even though they caught him with child pornography as a state trooper and him having that against him, then he went and got a job at the Athens City Police Department. How wrong is that? You tell me. Riddle me that, Batman. So Schuylkill County police officer has been accused of sexually abusing animals and children and uploading videos of the abuse court documents show. I want to thank Chris for sending me this link because this is more in depth than the other two. Christopher J. Cordes, 29, was suspended without pay indefinitely by the Tamaqua Police Department for conduct of becoming a police officer, the department said in a Friday news release. Cordes, a Bloomsburg resident, was arrested and charged on a Friday with 18 felonies, including photographing sexual acts of a child, sexual abuse of a minor, and child pornography. An affidavit of probable cause filed by the Pennsylvania Office of the Attorney General gave the following account. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children received a tip from Snapchat. Okay, I've been warning y'all about Snapchat. In October 2023, about a photo of a girl's genitals that had been uploaded from an account with the username Hey There Cowboy. The Snapchat account was traced to a phone number registered under court's name and address, according to court documents. Investigators found that courts have been using the Snapchat account to request and upload child pornography. He also used the account to message children. In the messages, he said he wants to impregnate a 13-year-old girl. Do what? Oh, man. Oh, man, he wants to impregnate a 13-year-old girl and create a family that plays together, which implied incestuous contact, state investigators wrote in the affidavit. So basically, he wanted a young girl to have a child and him to be able to have sex with that child, too. That don't Y'all do not give him a life sentence. Sorry. I gotta take a breath a minute, okay, y'all? It just burns me up, sorry. Cordes also admitted in the messages to repeatedly sexually assaulting an infant relative. Oh, sexually abusing an infant that's a relative of his. He's a police officer in Pennsylvania. He was. He got fired. The affidavit said courts used Snapchat to send multiple sexual videos of himself, and some of the videos his sexually abusing dogs, court documents said. Y'all know how I feel about how many times did he sexually abuse this infant? Was the mother or the parent of the child knowingly, willingly letting him do this for money? Was she letting him exploit her child? One girl who spoke with Cordes Snapchat, and y'all know that if a guy did a kid something like that to an infant, There's going to be evidence, right? One girl who spoke with Cortez over Snapchat told investigators he gave her an STD when they met in 2021. Cash out records show Cords later sent her $150 for STD treatment, according to the affidavit. Wow, 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 wow. Did that mean did he pick you up from your home, or did your family members willingly let him do that so that he could get money? Or did he sneak by your house and pick you up? What all transpired in the meet? We all want to know that kind of stuff too. Was your parents involved with getting you to and fro this officer, right? Court documents said Corns told the girl at their second meeting that he is sexually attracted to children up to and including the infant age range. Whoa. Give me a few minutes, few seconds. Hold on. Mm, trying to get my bearings here. Wow. That he wanted to have kids so that he could abuse them. And then because he was a police officer, he could get away with it, y'all. It all shows us right there that he is sexually attracted to children up to and including the infant age range. That he wanted to have kids so that he could abuse them. And if he was a police officer, he could get away with it. That's what happened too. He must have seen other police officers just getting away with it, right? As I'm working for you now, dude. They better not give you any kind of bail whatsoever, bond. No. We would, I think a lot of us citizens will be very angry if you get bond. Tamaqua police said in the Friday news release that they are unaware of any inappropriate conduct while Cortez was on duty. Of course, even if you did know, you wouldn't tell because there's so many people that's covered up for him. Cortez was unable to post 250 bail and is being held at Columbia County Prison as of Monday, according to online court records. A preliminary hearing is scheduled for June 12th in front of Magisterial District Judge Russell Lawton. So yeah, he's been given $250 bail. He's having trouble getting it, and there better not be any of these people that goes and helps him get out of jail. That would really burn us up. You'll be an enemy to me for life if you go out and you go help this sorry piece of crap get out of jail, okay? Ooh, yes it is. Yes it is. It's very, hey Cash, good to see you. Wow. So then now let's go over here to show what the animal crushing is, okay, about that. So you probably wonder what animal crushing is, since he did get go to that too. It shall be unlawful for any person to purposely engage in animal crushing in or affected interstate or foreign commerce and within the special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States. There's videos and stuff like that. But anyway, let's go on down to talk what that is, okay? The term animal crushing means actual conduct in which one or more living non-human mammals, birds, reptiles, or amphibians is purposely crushed, burned, drowned, suffocated, impaled, or otherwise subjected to serious bodily injury, as defined in Section 1365, and including conduct that, if committed against a person in a special maritime and territorial jurisdiction of the United States, would violate the section. Okay, I did not really want to go into this bestiality thing. There's a lot of sickos, but finding out more information, this is sickening. I'm sorry, but I got to get out there. Um, so these are the type of animals that Cortez doing that behavior with horses. In 2009, study the archives of sexual behavior about zoophilia, an abnormal fondness of animals. A 47-year-old married father, too, describes his sexual interest in horses. anonymous. When I first married, I tried so hard to be good and didn't have any sexual contact with equines for about a year. After that, I couldn't suppress anymore, and my contact with the horses rose, while my relations with my wife declined. I tried to be a normal husband, but human sex always felt wrong. I could do it, but I couldn't learn to like it. Even closing my eyes and pretending she was a horse didn't work for a while. Oh my goodness. You need a mental institution, dude. Snakes. Last year, a London doctor was found guilty of possessing footage of bestiality, including a video of a man having sex with a snake. Oh, jeez, Louise. Dogs. Earlier this year, a 64-year-old man was charged by police after footage was found after he was having sex with a Saint Bernard, a black Labrador, um, and an Alsatian. A British man also pled guilty to criminal charges in 2014 after footage he was discovered of him having sex with a dog and a horse. Man. Cows. New York police arrested a man in 2014 for allegedly attempting to have sex with a cow while another man filmed it. Of the animals mentioned above, dogs and cows seem to be the most common victims, according to a 2002 survey of 93 zoophiles by Dr. Henry Maletsky. Well, at least I think so. Maletsky's paperback is currently priced at $200 on Amazon, a bargain compared to the hardback price of $2,186. Wow. This article was amended on 21st of June 2016 to clarify that the Carnes Times is not a real news site. The story about the crocodile was fake. The Queensland police officer, there was no record of the incident, so there is no, thank God, right? So since we did not find this culprit in the Megan's Law, y'all might wonder what the Megan's Law is. But there's California Megan's Law was enacted in 1996. It mandates the California Department of Justice. So I had to look up Pennsylvania also, but I think it's about the same thing. To notify the public about specified registered sex offenders. Megan's Law also authorizes designated law enforcement entities to notify the public when necessary to ensure the public's safety based upon information available to the entity concerning that person's current risk of sexual or violent reoffense. All states in the United States now have some form of Megan's Law. The California Sex and Arson Registry is a source of sex offender information displayed on this website. This database contains registration information provided by offenders to local law enforcement agencies. This website may indicate that some registrants are currently in violation of their registration requirements. Any information you may have on these individuals should be reported to their local law enforcement agency. Also, let me show y'all a website I like going to. Okay, let me see. Oh, sorry, I typed in wrong. First, got to put family, watchdog, ups, dot US. So that's a USA website. So when you go in here, like put my zip code. April 78. and it's searching. See, okay, here we go. There's right here. So give it a minute, and for past, when you go, so it's not going to map any that offender lives to you. Okay, for a minute, give me a few seconds. Okay. To StreamYard and show again. Yeah, sorry, my internet is going in and out, so please forgive me. I'm at a friend's house, y'all. He had lost his Monday, and so I come over to support, you know, school. It would also send you notifications if moved into your neighborhood. There's a vendor against a child. It would be that colored dot on that, and it or the dot red, whatever, right? You like this right there? See it right here? And so it's like offender home, offender other, sexual battery home. So let's look at the red. Okay, here's a red that's kind of similar. Uh, this is Andrew Shader, male, the square ran up and started hugging him. And I said, "You don't need to hug him. He's a sex offender." What cut out? I think this is very important to get it out there about Christopher Cortez. I think it's important to know that there's websites out there. A friend of mine likes going to news breaks and it shows the sex offenders in his area. Is it okay now? Can y'all hear me now? Yeah, familywatchdog.us. That's it. Yes. Make sure you put in your full address in there at familywatchdog.us. I didn't put in my address because, I mean, showing it, but I did it off, when I closed out the thing and typed in my address. I guess y'all couldn't hear me when I had said stop sharing. Kind of messed up. I'm sorry about that. But for anybody that wants to go that's in the United States, go to familywatchdog.us. Go in there. It's free account. Um, Type in your address and stuff, and you see the people around in your area. You'll see their pictures. So if you see them in public, you know to keep your kids away from for said people. They might act friendly, and you're like, okay, but it's like, no, this is one of the registered sex offenders. One time, I was walking home from going to karaoke in town, and I usually do not try to take a shortcut down an alley. that was a mistake I made. But the thing about it is, he might have still came after me if I went straight that way since they saw me, right? And two guys were at a stop sign that was not at the alley, but they got out of the car and they come running at me, and I ran, and I was scared because I was halfway in the lot by the time they got out of their vehicle, right? So I knew that it was no luck. But then all of a sudden, this white Cadillac came out of nowhere, man. The guys jumped back in the vehicle and they took off like a bat out of hell. I ran all the way home, and I was like, thank you, God, for bringing that guy in the white Cadillac that came out of nowhere. Because otherwise, when I got home, I looked it up, and these were two sexual offenders. One was in a violent rape, and another one, I think is a smaller, lesser count of rape, but still, it wasn't good situation. So I thank God for protecting me that time. So I never went to karaoke in town again after that. Yeah, they do come in many guises. You download News Break, and it gives you all the crime, pedophiles, and whether, yes. I have trouble because they give me some fake news stories too. That's why I started not counting on Newsbreak because I don't want to hear the stuff that's not true. But so I like going ahead and going to the familywatchdog.org, and you could get emails to notify you of the culprits. And at least you could scroll down to the bottom and see what color, and then look for all the child rapists, and then all the different ones like this, the burglaries and whatnot, right? There are many out there with varying degrees. That's right. You find out there's one right across the building from where you live. There's 9 or 10 on the same block. Wow. Remember, it's a block away from a high school? That's horrific. A lot of these sex predators are not supposed to live but within not even 100 feet of a high school. I can't remember the exact things, but the police are not going in there and trying to stop it either. That's what's so sad about that. Y'all please get this information out there, and if y'all got people in America, I would highly recommend doing that familywatchdog.us. I really love it. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of y'all. Be hyper vigilant for our kids. God bless you.